I I always thought to get on the peak of the mountain of my performance, and to peak of my performance. I'm always in the past 10 years I've been peaking, and I thought this is it. After each fight, I can get higher. And then I was able to get better, because every camp, every preparation, we're trying to change things, not to change things, but make it more efficient, and to fight more efficient. And some of them are working, some others are not. I don't think really precisely about retirement. On one hand, on the other hand, I remember when I was 20, when I won the Olympics, I thought this is it, so I'm going to retire from the sport. And then professional boxing came in my life, and I thought with 25 I'm going to retire. So it's always something that I can't really answer, but I'm aware that it's not going to last forever. And there are two major points that I need to mention: motivation, and number one and most important, health. If one of those two is missing, then there will be no sense to continue. But so far, knock on wood, I feel healthy and motivated, as I used to be, maybe even a little bit more, because I have that experience that makes me go ahead, and gives me a lot of energy and motivation to continue.
When you see a guy like Floyd, who's obviously at the top of the sport, Wladimir, when you see him retire, or he says he's retired, so were you surprised that he's going to walk away, being in the position that he's in, to make all that money and to break Marciano's record?
I think he still has at least one fight there. I think the 50-0, to be tied with Rocky Marciano is cool, but he has this chance to go ahead and make his 50th fight with the 50th victory. I don't know. Sometimes athletes are getting really nervous, as we've seen at the U.S. Open with Serena Williams. There's a lot of pressure when you do historical steps or steps in history that you're going to be remembered for. So I kind of understand Floyd on one hand. On the other hand, I still really believe that he's not going to retire for some reason, even if he announced it. But I think he's going to go ahead and do there's at least one more fight in there.
Wladimir, I just have one last question for you. Tyson Fury obviously has said a lot of terrible things about you during the build-up of this fight and even before that. Have you taken any of that personally, and do you even think he means some of the things that he says, or he's just doing it to kind of hype the fight?
Well, we need to go a little bit deeper in Tyson Fury's issues. He has been mentioning things about Emmanuel Stewart is the greatest coach, and then I've heard that he said, well, he was overrated. Then he was saying that he admires Lennox Lewis, and then he said Lennox Lewis is pretty much haven't achieved much in his sporting life. Then you see the always different sides of Tyson Fury, that he say one thing and then later on he's saying complete other thing. On one hand, he said, I was motivated, or I'm motivated, doesn't matter who's in front of me. And then K2 fighter supposed to fight him, and as a replacement, Ustinov was supposed to fight him, and then he decided not to. So there's, and actually blaming Klitschko for setting it up, which I didn't understand. That speaks for me as a person that is psychologically unstable. He makes a lot of faces. He sings in the ring. His behavior during the Cunningham fight in New York was absolutely not okay. So he does a lot of things that are, on one hand, could look funny, like a clown. I'm not using a line clown as negative, because to make people laugh, it takes a lot of talent. And then he's saying that I'm going to retire after this fight, or every person need to or can give me a whip with a stick if I lose this fight. I'm so happy that he's not confirmed that he's going to suicide after this fight if he's going to lose it. So there's a lot of psychological issues in Tyson Fury's mind. So I think he's bipolar. He's bipolar. As I said, psychological issues, psychopaths, bipolar psychopath that sometimes is not really knowing what he's gonna do next. He doesn't have a plan. If something comes up and he does it in a totally different ways. And that's the analytics that I've been observing. I haven't watched many of Tyson Fury fights, but I took a look right now more particular, and I've seen him with his behavior, how he acts, and there's some major issues. But I also believe that I can change him in a better way as a person. I've done a great job as a therapist for David Haye, and David Haye became a better person after fighting with me, and I'm confirming it. And I've seen David after the fight years later. We had a chat, and he definitely became a better person. I'm happy that David Haye didn't fight Tyson Fury because he would have knocked him out, so then I wouldn't have a chance to give my therapy to Tyson Fury. But I'm sure I can, as a therapist, and that's what is going to look at a reality therapy during the fight, that I can really change Tyson Fury and make him a better person. So I think he's not completely lost. I think I can do it as an experienced therapist. That's how I see it. And one more and final thing about Tyson Fury, and in a certain way, he's acting like a clown, and it didn't mean in any negative way. As I said, I have one of my best friends. They're world famous clowns, and they're amazing. But to be funny doesn't mean act stupid, and that's sometimes, unfortunately, Tyson Fury is losing the edge of it. And I think he said that he's going to retire after this fight if he's going to lose it. I have a job for him because I have really good contacts through my friends to Cirque du Soleil, and I think he's going to have a really amazing second career, and I think he's going to be really and definitely used. Thank you.
Thank you, Vladimir.
Our next question is from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Go ahead.
Hey, Vlad. I was going to ask a different question, but I kind of got to piggyback off that now. With everything you said about Tyson Fury, does it kind of make your head spin? You're dealing with Tyson Fury, who's your opponent, and then you're also stuck dealing with Shannon Briggs, who hopefully will never be your opponent, but it just seems like you're stuck with just these bizarre personalities.
I seriously kind of stunned with thank you for your question, first of all, but I'm stunned with my position that I'm facing all the time, and pretty much in recent times, as behavior of Derek Chisora. We remember all of that, and there was before with David Haye, then Chisora, and we had Tyson Fury, and let's see, I'm going to have another press conference face-to-face with him in London next Wednesday. So I'm really excited about that and how that's going to be. And we have Shannon Briggs as well, that is absolutely desperately trying to promote himself, and this guy is just stalking me in different places, and the stuff, I'm taking it all kind of, relaxing, and I'm taking it like it's kind of funny, but definitely, as I said, to be funny doesn't mean act stupid. And I remember as I was paddling and he was chasing the speedboat, actually aiming straight at me, and then in the last second ducking to the left or to the right, which he thought is funny, which was not funny because who knows what can happen with the boat, with the steering wheel. And it's not like a car, you can hit the brakes and that's it. So it was definitely over the edge, and things that he posted online, of course, was chosen by him. What looks more or less okay, but it's definitely you can lose the line. You can cross the line where where some, let's say, so to say, funny things can end up in the drama. So I don't know what is going on with these boxers that completely losing their mind to promote themselves with the statements, with some ridiculous things. I just kind of don't get it. So I definitely enjoying the fights that the fighters that mutually giving respect to each other. It was in old days, and actually perform in the ring instead of just promoting themselves using social media, not really knowing how to type their own name, says Tyson Fury with TYD SON, and promising me to okay me instead of KO me. So to okay me until a certain round. So I'm talking about Tyson Fury and his tweets. And so I'm just saying there's a lot of social media or media in general in their mind, but they are not aware of consequence. Thanks.
Well, I appreciate that breakdown. I do have one other question. Actually, two more. One, with you signing the 5-year deal with the German network with RTL, was that kind of your way of telling the world? I think you mentioned at one point that it seems like boxing's trying to retire you, where you want to retire on your own terms. Is this way of you telling the world, hey, you're nowhere near done with boxing yet?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry. Just with you signing the 5-fight contract extension with RTL, was that your way of just telling the boxing world, stop asking when I'm going to retire because I'm not done yet?
That was kind of standard procedure. I believe that was my number, 3 or 4 contract with resigning with RTL, and the previous contract expired, so I had to sign another one, and so it's a 5 deal. So on one hand, I need a broadcasting partner, which I've been having for the past. It's going to be our 10th year working together with RTL and all the amazing production that they've done for boxing. And there was something that I didn't try to make any statements, by no means, but there was standard procedure that I just resigned the contract. And but I hope, as I said previously to the other guys, I hope I can last long enough, and I hope I will enjoy in the next 2-3 years. I will enjoy myself as I'm doing it right now, being in sport and being challenged all the time, and be on the peak of my performance at 11 o'clock p.m. on Saturday night.
Okay, great. And then I just have one more question. I'm sorry. I know this fight comes, I think, one day shy of the 3-year anniversary of Emmanuel's passing. I just wanted to know, I know you don't need any more motivation than just the opponents you have, but does that kind of just drive you a little bit, knowing Emmanuel's always in your corner and then this date is coming up?
I never had put in my mind. Emmanuel is always with us, and we pretty much every day when we're in the camp, Jonathan and I, we chat about it, and how Emmanuel would have seen our work and what he would like to see and change. And we have a feeling, because Emmanuel was leaving the camp so often for HBO broadcasting. He was commentating on HBO a lot of fights, and he was coming back to the camp. So we have a feeling that Emmanuel somewhere on the trip, for another HBO broadcast, and he's going to be back at some point. And on one side he's not with us, but on the other side he's so present, and he put in us the philosophy of boxing. And he was not a trainer. He was a teacher that and a friend that shared a bunch of stories of his life as an example, and answered a lot of questions that Jonathan and I had, and I'm just happy that we had him for such a long time, almost a decade. We worked together, so 9 years. So it was great experience to be around this man and having him as a part of our lives. As many other people, I know for sure there's some journalists right now on the phone call that know Emmanuel as a loyal, always ready to share the stories and always available for media. He was definitely a friend for many people, and many people admired him. So do we.
Well, thank you very much, Vlad. I always appreciate you being an ambassador to the sport, and best of luck next month.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Dan Raphael with ESPN. Go ahead.
Hey, hello, Wladimir.
Hi, Dan.
How are you? I wanted to ask you about Deontay Wilder, and I look at he has the other title that you don't have. A lot of people would like to see the two of you guys fight at some point in the future. I'm wondering if you were paying attention to what he's been doing, and also your point of view on the fact that he has had one defense against just about one of the weakest opponents you could find, and now he's going to a second defense against a guy that most people perceive as even worse than the first defense. Contrasting to yourself, you've fought pretty much everybody that's around your weight class that's in the top of the rankings over all these years. I want your perspective on the notion of basically picking easy opponents on a regular basis.
Of course, I'm observing who is doing what, and especially also with Deontay Wilder. He was in my training camp. We know each other well, and I just also wish that his opposition is going to be better. I also, on the other hand, understand it's not his fault. Obviously, he doesn't have influence on his management and promoter, where they make decisions and make the calls for him what to do in this case. And so he's not picking those guys. But of course, he's getting criticized, certainly, because he's fighting those guys. So I think that has to do with his management where he's involved, and I believe he just needs to have some influence on them and probably guide his career the way he wanted as well. I've been in this situation with my first and last promoter, Klaus-Peter Kohl, in my life, and I remember I was not picking my opponents up. It was somebody put in a ring with me, so I had to fight him. I didn't have any power through the contracts to change anything or much. But obviously, we're facing the same thing in this case with Wilder and his promoter and manager. What do I think about Wilder? I think he's extremely talented. I think that he's outstanding athlete, and I believe that his knockout percentage speaks for itself. But of course, I would love to see him also with different opposition, with different opponents as well.
Wladimir, he has a mandatory that's going to be due against Povetkin, a fighter that you defeated very easily with multiple knockdowns. And the opinion of many is that his people, at least until that time where he has to get in the ring with Povetkin, are kind of keeping him safe, which is why they're picking the opponents that they've selected for the first defense and as well as the one that's coming up in 2 weeks. And since you have been in the ring with Deontay as when he's come to your training camp to spar with you, and you also fought a world championship defense against Povetkin, I'm wondering, just from your expert opinion, based on your knowledge of both fighters, how you would think a fight between Deontay and Povetkin might go.
That is going to be extremely entertaining fight. I definitely think that that Povetkin has ability to win this fight, but also Deontay can do it. So it's and also about Povetkin. In some of the fights he didn't really look impressive, but he has an amazing background experience as an amateur boxer, and he definitely has improved in the past years after he lost against me. He definitely got better, and I even think that my fight with Povetkin these days probably would have looked a bit different than it was in 2012 in Moscow. So I think this fight can go either way with Povetkin and Wilder. I definitely think it's something that is exciting because you don't have a favorite in this fight. So I would say 50-50 can go either way.
And Vladimir, I would assume that you would, regardless of who is the winner, be it Povetkin or Wilder, you like to fight the winner because you want to get your hands on that fourth belt. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I haven't ever had WBC belt, Am I desperate? I've been asking the WBC for this fight and opportunity for a long time, many years. It's in years now, but never got this opportunity through different circumstances. But of course, I never had this title before. Am I desperate to have this title? Of course not. If you want to become the heavyweight champion, you need to go through me. But on the other hand, of course, I'm extremely excited about having another unification, and last and final unification that I can have in heavyweight division. And the only title that I don't have is the WBC title.
Very good. I have just one more question for you. With the retirement of Mayweather that he announced after his fight on Saturday, it's going to leave open that pound-for-pound number one on the various lists that we do at ESPN, that magazines do, that other websites do, and there are those that would argue that Wladimir Klitschko, given your long reign, your record over the past decade plus, all the top fighters you faced, the fact that you sometimes fight similarly, let's say, to Mayweather in the sense that you win easily and dominantly, with good defense, although you do score more knockouts than Mayweather, that people might argue that it should be Wladimir Klitschko as the number one guy in the sport on pound for pound, even though I understand that it was created to the degree to compare lighter weight fighters to heavyweights, but that notwithstanding, that people could look at you, regardless of your heavyweight stature, that you're the best fighter in the world. Can you make a case that people should say Wladimir Klitschko is the number one fighter in the world compared to the other guys? In his
I will never say that. I don't want to compare myself with other guys, and I think there's somebody do certain things better than I. And I've been champion for a couple of years. I enjoyed myself, and you know what? I know. But I'm just saying. It's an old saying. People call the king, not the king himself, except your Muhammad Ali, greatest of all time. So that's an exception rule, as always. But there's always an exception. But otherwise, am I gonna be really upset? No. Am I gonna be pleased? I guess so. If I end up as number one, but I think that there's a lot of people that can make the decision, and I think that it's nobody's job from all the fighters that think they're the best than the others. There's always somebody is better than you in certain ways, but you guys decide who's going to be the number one pound for pound, and that decision is not in my hands. Thanks for
You want to take the opportunity to make your case for a moment that you're number one.
I think that I can do certain things better, but than the others. But I think also I've seen some fighters are better than me in different standings and positions. But I will let, as I said, the others decide for me where I'm standing. So I'm totally chilled about it, and I'm not bothering myself with that.
All right, very good. Vladimir, thanks for the time, and I wish you good luck with Tyson Fury. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dan. We'll take one more caller, please.
Yes, sir. Our final question is from Erica Montoya with Milenio Diario. Go ahead. Go ahead, Erica. Your line is live.
I want to know, you have more achievements than other fighters. Really isn't in your plans to be the pound-for-pound king now that Floyd is gone and to return the crown to Floyd?
Hello?
Hello? Do you hear me?
Can you go ahead and repeat the question?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Now that Floyd is gone, or supposedly retired, do you have in your plans to claim for the crown of the pound-for-pound king? Because no other fighter in that list have the achievements that you do. Are you going to return the crown to the heavyweight? To restore the medal?
Well, I just was answering a similar question, and I admire the former number one pound for pound Mayweather, it's really it was complicated to achieve what he's done, to stay undefeated in 19 years. His last fight that he lost was at the Olympics, and however, people criticized Floyd Mayweather for different things, but I admire this guy for his capabilities to stay undefeated, which is not that easy, trust me. And I do not decide who is going to be pound for pound number one. I can decide. It's not in point of my interest. I'm enjoying myself. You can watch my enjoying of myself on 24th of October as my next match against Tyson Fury, and the rest is history. So I definitely not make myself busy with who is going to be pound for pound champion or number one. That's it.
Thanks very much, Erica. Before we close the call, is Jonathan Banks still there, Wladimir, with you?
Yep, he's right next to me.
Jonathan, if you could just give us a brief update on Vladimir's training and how it's going and what the plan is next after this week.
Well, that's easy. That's a short answer. The training's going great. As Wladimir said on the previous conversations, he's very motivated. So it's easy to have a guy like that in the gym. And the next upcoming week, we head over to Austria to continue the training camp.
Perfect. Thank you. And any closing comments, Wladimir, please?
I want to say thank you for this conference call, because through media I have a chance to talk to the fans, get them aware of my upcoming fight on 24th of October. Here in the States, you can watch it on HBO live from Düsseldorf, from the stadium, soccer stadium in Düsseldorf. It's going to be, I think, my 7th fight at the soccer stadium. And I'm really happy that HBO is broadcasting it live. I was also happy to hear how many times HBO broadcasted my fights. Those numbers are making me feel a little bit worried about my age, because it must been it has been done in many years. But as people in Germany say, age is just a number, nothing else. So I'm looking forward to my next challenge. I also want to add to everything that was said to Tyson Fury, whatever his issues are, but it's going to be a really difficult fight for me. I've been looking particularly at Tyson Fury. He's extremely talented in switching the sides. He's young and ambitious. He's, as I mentioned, younger and heavier, taller. And it's going to be a really challenging fight for me. I definitely think it's not going to be an easy night. So I look forward to that challenge, and I'm preparing myself accordingly.
Wladimir, thank you very much for your time. Jonathan, thank you always for your time. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude the call. Saturday, October 24th, Wladimir Klitschko versus Tyson Fury from Düsseldorf, Germany, live on HBO at 4:45 p.m. Thank you all.